That's what happens when you buy 20-year-old shitbox, Japanese cars.
Alright, I'm just test recording now, just to make sure that we're where we think we are.
Am I cool? Do I look cool? Am I super cool? I want to like Zoolander cool. Was Zoolander ever really cool?
I never saw the movie.
Really? My nose still hurts from the handlebar going in my face. I'm really stoked I still have a tooth. Really stoked because I just spent like $4,000 on it.
I feel like we should pause this and check that it's recording right. Or I could just trust my levels, and that's a great intro.
I mean, you could check it.
I'm kind of cool with just rolling with it.
Okay.
Unless you don't want to.
I got a new tooth. Brad. Okay.
Alright, we'll kill it. We'll kill it. Because we already just stopped and laughed for a second.
I couldn't help it though. We're talking about my tooth, and I'm like, it just. The reason why that meme was so funny was because I literally just got my tooth fixed, and it was like, dude, Brad, I know how you feel. Only a little bit. I mean, he's got like way worse than me, but mine was pretty jacked.
I didn't stop it. I don't really care. I think it's funny, and I've never pretended to be a polished podcast anyway.
I love Brad. I love him to death. And
that meme on face, Tyler, is gold.
It is pretty good.
So welcome back to the podcast, Tom.
Yay, I'm here. I'm in Pittsburgh.
And welcome back to the podcast, listeners. This episode is being recorded in the future.
The future.
Because I'm going to record a podcast after this that's going to go up first.
Yeah. Well, the old switcheroo.
None of that really matters to you. Other than that, I like to give you some insight into how cool it is to run a podcast. It's not very. I'm not going to put a real intro on this, I don't think. I've been recording an intro and putting an intro over it, and then, I've noticed to myself it makes it harder to start the podcast out when I'm avoiding the intro in the podcast, or if I record it after, then there's redundancy sometimes. So it's kind of like, I know what the episode's going to be. This is going to be episode 31. Because the last episode I recorded is 29. I know it's so dumb sounding.
No, I mean, it makes total sense to me. Because I know what's going on.
But, I mean, technically it's 031.
031, because you expect to hit triple digits in no time.
I mean, it's always been 3 digits. That's just key. Because the numbers matter so much.
I don't know anything about any of that.
I prepped and tried to get all my phone situation taken care of, and now I'm getting work texts.
Work texts? On work phone?
On the work phone.
On the work phone, naturally.
All right, well, none of it matters. It's about a wrestling tournament that my boss's son was
in. Work text. Wrestling.
Oh, this is an awesome start to this episode. I love it. I haven't done enough of these lately where it's just like you sit down and kind of settle in as you go.
Yeah. And nonsense just flows.
Yeah. So it's
I love
fun.
It. I like talking nonsense. It's my MO.
Hopefully the next episode's good. The last episode to you guys.
Yeah, the last episode.
But
was good.
Check out Tom's sick shirt.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say.
Work.
Check out the last podcast.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
J Quartz Metalworks on Instagram.
JC Metalworks.
I thought it was J Quartz.
JC.
Did he change it?
I don't know. Hold on.
It's J Quartz.
This needs to be proper.
It's J Quartz.
We're gonna check this real quick. Oh shoot, dang! I've been telling people the wrong thing. I suck. I don't know. When you type in JC Metalworks, it comes up. So
it's J Quartz Metalworks.
Yeah, J Quartz Metalworks.
Anyway,
I'm a failure.
So, episode 031 is with Tom the Failure Beckman. Tom's been on the show before. He was in the No Worries Crew podcast. I don't know which episode that was.
It was like 20-something.
Was it that late?
I don't remember.
Because this is only 31.
I listened to it literally yesterday.
I'm
Actually,
not going to look it up. I don't really care.
Yeah.
Numbers are irrelevant. It's the No Worries Group podcast.
Somewhere with Roz and Tom.
Sick Tom.
Sick Tom. I was dying. If you get a cut, take care of your infections. It was terrible. Dude. Did Ross tell you I almost passed out at the concert in Ohio?
No.
Yeah. It was really bad.
I mean, you passed out today.
Well, yeah, that was just random, no sleep, not drinking enough water, passing out.
You took a mini nap while you were rolling in?
Yeah, that was so bad. So stupid.
Don't worry, the wall woke you up.
Yeah, the wall woke me up real good. My wrist is so bad. It hurts.
Alright, this is awesome intro. It's like we haven't really done it. We just keep beating around the bush.
We're not cutting sound, so that
I'm not cutting anything. I don't care.
Anything. Rainbows.
Carry on.
No, the fans on AV's computer, they changed colors around the fan, and it was just showing rainbows. Cool story, bro. Thanks. I thought it was.
Oh, I never started recording.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did.
Would you look at that?
Whew. Okay, episode 31, Tom Beckman. Last time you were on, mostly it was just chatting about No Worries Crew, the filming project. I would say DVD, but it wasn't. It's like individual parts that you guys worked on and put out.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have one, and I forgot to send everything over.
It's
not necessarily too late, but it is what it is.
It was pretty unorganized.
It's better late.
Yeah, better late. So we put parts together, and we were going to put it like all together in a video, and things just kind of didn't work out. A lot of people it was like a 4-year project. So a lot of the people that were into it in the beginning fell out, and then it just ended up with me, Roz, and Davey. And I thought all the parts were decent. Roz's part was pretty epic. My part was mediocre at best, naturally. Davey's part was good.
Yeah, they were all good.
Yeah.
They were all enjoyable.
I did less tables than I thought I would in my video part.
So it was only 95% of your part?
No, it was, I think, I literally think I only had like maybe 4 tabletops. The rest was all pedal grinds, to be fair. Shocking. The 2 things I do.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that project's, I mean, I would say it's pretty much a wrap.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not really too much you can do with it unless I do send you all the stuff, but
yeah,
I mean, it's like you were on a roll. You were getting them done one after the other, and now it's done. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and Roz's part was supposed to be like the ender, just because he's the one that put actual time into the specific project.
Mm-hmm.
So, and his part, granted, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
He had some really, like, shocking stuff.
Yeah, no, it was really good.
Yeah.
Maybe if I'm a good host, I'll, like, drop some links in the description.
Possibly.
And, like...
They're all on our BMX, so you can check that out.
Oh, yeah, they did all make it on there.
Yeah.
So, that's the rest of your intro is, beyond the No Worries Crew thing, Tom has been contributing a whole bunch of stuff to our BMX in varying capacities, and I'm sure not everything you send in gets posted.
Oh no, it's a good amount goes up, but Jeff and Ryan, they definitely want to put out quality stuff, and I'm thankful to get some of my stuff chosen by them, because I look up to those two so much. Like, yeah, Jeff's super idol, you know.
And I mean, it's cool to get just feedback too, because you might get a picture that you're really excited about, and then it's just like
it could actually be garbage.
Because I mean, you can be blinded by your own art.
Yeah, and that's the thing with an artistic format. Like, I don't really see myself. I'm definitely more of like a technical photographer, not really art based. Like, I like, the only art part of it is like, I like cool shadows. I guess you could say, but other than that, it's like, it's very technical for me, and as far as like light levels and like proper exposures and stuff. But then you look at a photo and you think it's really cool. Like, that doesn't mean other people think it's cool. You know, you hope, you know, you made it. So it is very satisfying to have someone that I look up to so much say, yeah, that's good. Like, we'll use that.
Mm-hmm.
That's very cool.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else, like, intro-wise, demographic-wise. Like, we didn't really do... It was neither the Tom Beckman or the Roz podcast before, although you were dying, so Roz did most of the talking.
I was dying.
So, like, I don't know. I mean, let's just kind of do the Tom Beckman podcast. Like, where you and I know each other crosses in years after you'd already been riding. So, like...
Yeah.
You're from a small town in the middle of nowhere in New York State.
Newark Valley, New York. And I used to ride my bike to Owego, New York.
That's not how it's pronounced, by the way.
Owego?
No.
Newark?
It's Newark Valley.
Newark. No, it's Newark Valley. Everyone just says Newark Valley because they like to point out the fact that I'm from redneck town. Newark Valley. Yeah.
All your fields glow at night. It's real weird.
And it smells like cat pee from blown up meth labs.
Hey. It is what it is.
I mean, that's happened before.
But no, like, Newark Valley, for being a small town in the middle of nowhere, had a scene.
Oh yeah,
a good scene.
It had a pretty solid scene, and a lot of that had to, FBM was a big part of that. Everyone that was in Newark Valley was like looked up to those people a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it made a big difference that like eventually Kelly Baker moved to Newark Valley.
Mm-hmm.
And like that definitely helped. But even before that, Sawyer Brown, like he really organized like all of it, the NVE stuff,
mm-hmm.
and like
which is Newark Valley Evolution.
Yeah. I feel like he was the reason why there is such a good group of people in the town that rode. Like good at as in size.
Mm-hmm.
We had a pretty stacked group.
You had the like iconic NVE photo has probably 20 people in it.
Oh yeah. The photo where I'm flipping off the camera?
I don't know. It's the one where the whole crew's in there.
And the bike's stacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the count is in it, but it's got to be close to 20 people.
There was a good amount of people.
And it's all the Newark Valley scene.
Yeah, that was just in town Newark Valley. And then you had Berkshire and Richford, which weren't that far from, like, you can't say downtown because downtown Newark Valley.
The stoplight in Newark Valley.
Yeah, the stoplight in Newark Valley. It was maybe like 4 miles to Berkshire and then maybe another 4 miles to Richford. And those two little towns had their own big scenes. Like Berkshire had a big one because of Jeff Collins and BBB,
mm-hmm.
Berkshire Biker Boys. And then Richford had the Dirt Bowl. And that was huge. Like Kmart and all those dudes, Bugsy. Like, we had such a big group in that little space that it was just, there was so much riding going on.
Well, it's the middle of nowhere, but it's not like it didn't have stuff around it, because anyone that knows New York geography by any means, it's halfway between Ithaca and Binghamton.
Yeah.
Almost like on the nose halfway.
We're two, like, epic places to ride. You had Cornell.
And not far from Syracuse.
VU. Yeah.
So you've got all these points around it. It just happens to not be anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nowhere with a bunch of people on bikes that had easy access to everywhere. Everywhere as, much as a place in New York could be.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, it was a really cool time. And I definitely, like, seeing Elbert Street and like, all of that stuff that went on early, that's what got me on a bike. But I truly feel like after I started riding and I got to know Sawyer and his brother Zach and all of the kids in Newark Valley,
mm-hmm.
like that's what cemented it. I was at that time, I was like, I like this. I'm just gonna keep doing it.
It's hard not to when you've got a big scene.
Yeah, huge scene.
And like
if you
full
dip
DVD out. Like,
yeah.
You guys weren't messing around as MVE.
And we had spots. Like, we had trails. I didn't ride much of those trails.
Really, really good ditch in Newark Valley.
Yeah. Really good. Still there. Still awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty full because no one's done anything. No one's cleaned it out in forever.
I mean, Derek and I rode it like 2 years ago. But
okay, there you go.
It was pretty full. It was pretty nasty.
Yeah. It's pretty
whatever,
brutal.
monster truck it, figure it out.
But, yeah, there's the butcher shop, and we had like guardrails so that we could grind and stuff, and then there was Church Rail. Church Rail was up past the Sunoco. There's the main stoplight.
Mm-hmm.
If you were coming,
you're blowing up all the Newark Valley spots.
Yeah,
to the
all the
eye.
spots, all the spots. It's like no one rides there anymore. So
yeah,
the scene was strong, but it died.
Well, it crashed hard. It didn't seem like there was any up and coming youth, or maybe not that there wasn't. There was a big gap in it, so it was like they didn't relate to the scene. Maybe
I feel like it wasn't as solid with the younger kids. Like, they all liked riding bikes a lot, and then they graduated. They graduated high school.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, now you'll see them on their bikes every once in a while, and it's, like, cool. Every time you see it, you're, like, kind of shocked. You're like, oh, Jaybird's on his bike. Whoa. Or, stuff like that. And I feel like, as far as the younger kids, the Berkshire and Richford kids were more solid than in town Newark Valley. But, like, the skill levels were kind of all over the place. Like, I was never amazing. I didn't get decent at doing stuff until I started racing. And then I feel like I got a little bit better. But before that, everyone was kind of so-so. But we all had fun. That's all that really mattered. There were a couple dudes that were just really good. Cody Abitoy, super naturally gifted. And he could ride whatever. Like, you bring him to Baker's Acres, and he'll ride Big Six, which is like big sets, brakeless, with bar, and he still has the same like handlebars that he had in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
Tiny. So, and it's like you can still bring him there, and he'll still jump the biggest jumps at the Acres. No questions. Brakeless, which is crazy at the Acres.
It's crazy because the berms are low.
Berms are low, and you can generate speed fast. And, yeah. I miss the Acres.
Speaking of Sawyer, though, was super stoked that Mike and Sawyer and a lot of the Newark Valley crew came out for the Binghamton Jam last year.
It was really cool.
And I was most stoked that Sawyer, within like 3 or 4 tries, was doing feeble hards like he never quit riding.
Feeble hards, and did you see him doing full cabs?
Yeah.
Like it was nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, granted, Sawyer is super athletic.
Yeah. I mean, being fully in shape the way he is definitely plays to his advantage there.
Absolutely.
But it's still the technique.
Still amazing.
Just being there, like
it was nothing.
Mm-hmm. Never missed a beat.
It's not like he had pegs on his bike, because he didn't have pegs on his bike, and he hasn't had pegs on his bike for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, "Oh yeah, I'll buy some pegs. Oh, people hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty silly.
Yeah,
cool.
it's good.
Yeah. Stories, definitely. It was always good.
Um, I don't know, how long did you ride before I met you? When did you start riding?
I started messing around with the idea of like BMX in like 97 ish.
Okay.
So like quite a while before I actually like started hanging out with people that rode.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe like 2004 is when I started. Like 2003, 2004 was when I started hanging out with Sawyer and like the people in town, Newark Valley, because I lived half an hour car ride away from all of those dudes. I lived out in the sticks, which like way out. So
Newark Valley's already the sticks.
Yeah, yeah. So Newark Valley's in the sticks, and then there's me, like past the sticks, like into the trees, I guess. um, so I had to ride to Newark Valley, which was like a 2-hour bike ride on my 20-inch. And sometimes I convinced the bus driver to let me take my bike to school with me on the bus, and that was a lot of work. And then I'd ride for a while, and my mom would come pick me up, like at like 8 or something at night. Mm-hmm. And then I started riding with the Berkshire kids more, because people kind of in Newark Valley kind of started to not ride as much. So started riding more with Jeff Collins, Jeff Jr., Justin Collins. That's when I got to know Cody Abitoy, Dylan Abitoy, and all those dudes more. And they had the Berkshire Trails, which were in the backyard of Jeff Collins' house. And there's also a garage, like a barn garage thing, probably maybe 3 times the size of this room, but like stacked like this.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a ramp at that end, which was a vert wall, but like maybe half the height of this room, tall. Like I stacked on top of this room, so it was pretty short for riding. And this side we had a quarter that was like maybe a 3-foot quarter, and then the other side was vert wall, and that's what we rode in the winter. Mm-hmm. That's all we rode in the winter. Well, other than ECT, we rode ECT a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean that was a close to probably 45-minute, if not more, drive for your crew. Like
definitely.
It wasn't like you could just be like, oh, we're gonna go over to ECT.
Yeah, no, it was like an occasion. Like we get to Berkshire. It was kind of a random occasion. But we'd get to Berkshire, and then every once in a while, Jeff would be like, "Okay, load up the van. Like, let's do it." And then as I got older, my parents started driving me to ECT, and I rode every Sunday there. Mm-hmm. But like, I didn't get to meet anyone because no one rode on Sunday.
Yeah.
Like, no one went to ECT on Sunday. But. Yeah, so that's how all that happened, and I rode Richford a little bit. It was a lot of the Berkshire kids that I rode with were actually from Richford, but they would come to ride the trails behind Big Job's house. Mm-hmm. So I got to know them, and then every once in a while I'd go to the Dirt Bowl, which was Kmart's place.
I never rode the Dirt Bowl. I was never like, I was around and I was riding, but I did not overlap with any of the Newark Valley scene when it was big. I knew who they all were.
We didn't like really branch out that much. You had like the older group that was like Sawyer's age, maybe a little older, like Casey Peaster and Andy Grant.
Yeah.
Like those dudes that were like kind of on another level of riding. I feel like. Who else? There was a third dude. Oh, Bugsy. Bugsy was like the dude. Like, he was good. Real good. And so, yeah, those dudes kind of traveled more and went to places to ride. But, like, the younger group, we didn't really travel that much. None of us had cars. Our parents weren't like driving us places. So if we wanted to go somewhere, we rode our bike.
Yeah.
And like, it's a lot to ride your bike from the actual middle of nowhere to like the middle of nowhere. Just to see your friends.
Right.
And then like, even for the Newark Valley kids, it was a lot to like, the closest thing was Berkshire, and that was a lot to ride your bike to. So they would kind of stay in Newark Valley because they had spots. They had a couple spots.
I don't know, particularly listeners of this podcast, but I don't know how many people in general really can even relate to that. Especially in today's age where like things like the wheel mill exist, where the scene is so heavy and concentrated, and it kind of goes beyond what you typically see for like the scene at a local park.
Yeah.
Because it's just big, and it's a draw. So there's like a lot of things that can be said for that, but we just didn't have that.
Yeah.
And like your scene, you had the barn.
Yeah, and
you had some trail spots and some street, but like you're saying, to even make it to town was an achievement.
Yeah, it was like I said, 2-hour bike ride on my 20-inch to get into town, which like wasn't really somewhere.
Yeah.
Like 2-hour bike ride to go and basically ride like a curb.
I forget exactly when, but when did the Nike 6.0 park get put in? Was that 2010?
Yeah, that was ish. I can't remember exactly when.
I feel like it was slightly before that, maybe 2008.
It was later. Like
because most of the scene was already out.
Yeah.
Because I remember that. I remember it for multiple reasons. One, it might have been the first time I'd ever been to Newark Valley.
Why go?
But I remember that a lot of the crew had joined the military, or at least a handful of dudes.
Yeah.
So I should know the names, but I don't know the name of the dude who died overseas.
Nick Wilson.
Nick Wilson, yep.
Yeah.
So there's a park in Newark Valley dedicated to Nick Wilson, and there was a Nike contest for a backyard mini ramp, and again, should know the name, probably do, but whoever wrote the essay, it wasn't Mike, was it? Was it Mike Donnelly?
I don't think it was Mike.
Was it another Nick?
Might have been another Nick.
Anyway, another local dude in the military wrote his letter in about why he doesn't actually even want a mini ramp, but he thinks the community deserves it because Newark Valley had allocated the space but had no funds to build the park.
Yeah.
So he wanted it for the community. So they, okay, well, we're going to give you a whole park, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, the reason this becomes memorable is that Kelly Baker went to bat for the community.
Yeah.
And really threw Nike under the bus hard for a while on the come up and other places. Back in the come up's heyday.
Yeah, Kelly definitely was the reason it actually happened.
100%.
Yeah.
Because they were totally not going to build this park. They wanted nothing to do with it.
No, they said they were gonna, and then just totally blew it off. But that's Nike. Look where they are now. Not in BMX.
Shout out to Kelly Baker.
Yeah. Who has been in BMX forever. Not going anywhere.
But yeah, that's why it's notable. I was trying to put a year on it because you were saying you didn't really get involved in the scene there till like 2003, 2004, somewhere in that time frame.
Before that,
and I'm thinking it was like 2000. It's got to be somewhere 2008 to 2010. That time frame.
It wasn't 2008. I graduated 2008.
Yeah, I graduated 06.
Yeah. It was...
And ECT closed in like 07 or 08.
Yeah. So the Nike Park was built after East Shore.
Not after East Shore.
Maybe they had the Jam after East Shore?
Maybe. I don't remember.
Because I remember Alex talking about the park. Alex and Spencer.
Yeah, and we all had those Nike 6.0 pedals.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm like, this timeline is goofy. It's funny
so goofy
to go
because
into.
they blew it off for so long.
Yeah.
Maybe it was supposed to happen in 2010.
I think it was 2010.
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember a lot of things.
Well, that's its own issue.
Yeah.
But let's put this into context, right? It's 2020. I moved here in 2014.
Oh, wow.
And East Shore had been closed for, a year or so before I moved out of the area. Like 2013 they closed. Like, when you're really looking at this timeline, it's 2010-ish. It has to be.
Yeah. My life's so all over the place.
Oh, it's wild. Just thinking about being down here since 2014 is crazy.
Yeah.
So, all right. I mean, that we knew each other. We'd like been in passing and stuff through East Coast Terminal, I'm sure. Even though, like, I have my things to say about that place. I was never a part of that scene.
Yeah.
I was never with the in crowd there. So every time I went there, it was a why am I even here situation.
The reason why I went there so much was, like, I tried to go every weekend, every Sunday, once my parents started bringing me. Cooker was super nice to me. And he was always super nice to me. You know, he came out to the trails on my birthday, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Cooker was like kind of a big brother-ish that I saw once a week, kind of thing. And, like, he was always nice. And there wasn't really, the in crowd wasn't there when I was there. I never met any of those dudes.
Yeah. Yeah, it just never was the place for me that everyone else remembers it being, and I think that that's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's like, I don't have the attachment that other people have to that place.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's that, not to digress or anything, but I think we knew each other a little bit from there. We knew each other from HCS, and we knew each other from racing.
Yeah.
But we were never friends.
we might still not be friends. Not sure.
Well, no, I mean, East Shore comes around a handful of years later. One, everyone thinks it's a name bite off East Coast Terminal.
Yeah.
Everyone. Until they realize that it's a skate park on East Shore Drive.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, East Shore Skate Park makes sense.
Oh, that's the address, is it?
Well, it's still pretty lame, you know?
Yeah.
East Coast Terminal, East Shore.
It's funny. I mean, before East Shore, we would hang out.
Yeah, rarely. You know what I mean? Like, once in a while through HCS.
Yeah. HCS, like, you, me, Steve, your brother. Who else? I feel like there was one other person.
Wally. Probably.
I didn't talk to Wally that much. But, like, we'd go to the diner every once in a while. You know, wing night. Crap like that. But it wasn't like super solid friendship.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't hate each other.
Yeah. But East Shore days is really where, like, we just were around each other a lot. I mean, I was making that drive from Binghamton to Ithaca 3 nights a week, possibly. Yeah. And that would be there. That would be in the summer.
Yeah.
We'd be coming up for summer sessions, and it's like, that really speaks to, that park was super simple, but it wasn't even that the park was necessarily that fun. It was, but it had a good scene.
Yeah.
The dudes there were just cool to be around, and like, in that regard, I'm sure that people have the same memories of that place as I have of East Coast Terminal. That people that probably were not a part of that scene. And it's like, they don't care whether that park was there or not. They didn't have that good of a time there, maybe.
Yeah.
But, like, we would drive up just to hang out. Like, I met Sam there.
Mm-hmm.
You and I turned into pretty good friends there. The whole No Worries crew thing.
Yeah.
All came together because of East Shore.
Yeah. And, like, Alex and Spencer, like, they were good. And that was, for a lot of people, I know a lot of people went there.
You hear that, Spencer? You were good.
No, Spencer was a lot better than he was. But Spencer got really good when he went to Texas. He, like, blew up and he's doing crazy stuff now.
I just figured it was a good opportunity to make a joke.
To bust on him. Or me. But, like, people would go to East Shore to see Alex ride. Because Alex was, like, a phenomenon. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like, he's just so naturally gifted. And, like, now, at this point, I don't know if he's touched he hasn't touched his bike. His bike's in my garage. So there's that. But I guarantee if you handed him his bike right now, he would do hop whip, obviously hop bar.
Stationary hop whip in a living room.
In a living room, he could do it. Right now, he could do it in this space, right here. No questions asked.
Mm-hmm.
And he could probably hop truck first try. Not even thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
He's so naturally gifted. It's crazy.
That's the downside of being naturally gifted, though. In a way, is it's like there's no motivation to keep going.
Yeah, and biking still is like something Alex cares about, but he's always been naturally gifted at like everything, like snowboarding, skateboarding, all of that stuff. He was just always so good, and he got bored of those things. And because there wasn't really, like you said, there wasn't motivation for him. But as far as biking, it still is something for him. You know? Which is cool.
I think it comes to having a crew and whatnot. But, you know, he's the victim to what a lot of people our age are seeing right now. And it's just family life. Like, you hit a point where you have to ride less because of work.
He got a rough deal.
And then you get the family life thing, and I don't know what his details of that are. Nor is it something we need to talk about on this podcast.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like you just have to deal with your life, and like, unlike maybe generations past, I don't think any of us are gonna hang it up and just be like, okay, I'm done now. We might ride less, like substantially less than we would like to, but we're not hanging it up by any means.
I don't think I could ever. I don't think I could ever not ride. Like, I have to own a bike.
I can see at some point maybe it transitions to a different type of riding.
Yeah. Well, I've definitely transitioned, like, a number of times as far as, like, type of riding.
I mean, type of bike, too.
Yeah. I mean, I started mountain biking.
Mountain biking's cool. I can get down with mountain biking.
Yeah.
I can't really... Like, I've never been into the road biking side of anything.
My road bike kind of stays on the trainer, and I just ride it on the trainer. I don't, like, it is kind of boring just going out by yourself. Like, if I'm going out for a ride with, like, Kim or Shannon, you know, the Bakers, like, that can be fun because they always have something interesting to say, you know. It's always fun. But,
well, and they have a crew.
Yeah, they do have, like, a little road bike crew, which is, it's cool.
It's cool that their crew, and we're talking about Saints to Sinners.
Yeah, Saints to Sinners.
It's cool that their crew, like, as a collective, went from almost exclusively riding BMX to kind of seeing the bigger picture, I would say, and seeing all bikes as being equal.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not weird for those
That was a
guys.
Natural evolution for Kim that I think prompted a lot of that. He raced BMX, and then he raced Cruiser. He kind of stuck with Cruiser, and then he was like, oh, this is cool. Maybe mountain bike's cool. And the mountain bike was cool because it was kind of like dirt bike / BMX. And then he was like, oh, road bike. I can ride my road bike to work. And, like, stuff like that. And, like, he got really into road biking. And now he's just an animal.
All bikes are awesome.
Yeah, all bikes are awesome.
Which I inherently agree with. It's just that I have not been drawn to road biking.
Yeah.
I always laugh from a mountain biking standpoint. That's what I would call the quote-unquote socially acceptable biking, right? Mountain biking. Like, and BMX is like out-of-control crazy kids.
Yeah, crazy kids.
The irony is that in BMX, the majority of the time, it's about precision, repeatability, and control.
Yeah.
You want to do the exact same thing, the exact same way, over and over and over.
Yeah, because consistency is the way to do more
Mountain biking is only fun if you're almost dying.
Yeah, you are literally hucking yourself down a hill.
Yeah, but it's not fun unless you get loose in a corner and almost tank it, and you're like, ha ha ha, that was awesome.
It's true, man.
And you're like,
it's like
how are they so loose. Mixed up?
Yeah, it's so loose. But yeah,
it's also weird, and hopefully no one takes this the wrong way, but we've all seen it. It's weird to see mountain bikers that ride mountain bikes all the time not be able to ride a skinny. And then like BMXers will hop on it and they'll like rail ride 3 skinnies after one another and then like tabletop off of it, and it's like,
I've always hated skinnies.
What a dick move.
It's like, no, you're just not good enough. Yeah. The mountain bike scene in Ithaca is really big.
You have really good trails like Shindagan and stuff.
Hammond Hill, Connecticut Hill. And they're all, like more classy, more professional people.
Mm-hmm.
And they can definitely climb hills. But when it comes to going down, it gets, like you said, it gets loose. And it's a little scary. And I feel like I'm very controlled. And it's weird to see.
It almost makes it worse, right? To a degree. When we come in with this inherent bike control.
Yeah.
So we come in to riding mountain bikes, and we're so used to riding bikes, and we have so much bike control that we start out way up here.
Yeah.
But some of the finer mechanics we've missed all along the way. So certain parts of mountain biking are just death traps for a BMXer because you come in hot, you're overconfident, you know what you're doing, and then you just get sent.
Yeah. With mountain biking, the weird thing for me was being in Ithaca, the land of the hills. Like, you have to climb to go down.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the hardest part for me. Because BMX, you do a run and then you sit down and hang out.
I ride street in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But on that point,
you can chill, in between stuff. Mountain biking, it's like all of those people, they climb as hard as they can to the top and then go down. And it's like, dude, I'm gonna climb like halfway to the top, sit, drink a little bit of water.
Consider walking the rest of the way.
Consider walking the rest of the way. Most of the time, walk the rest of the way. And then I'm going to chill once I get to the top. And then I'm going to bomb it. I'm not trying to be the fast guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to climb mountains.
I always have a hard time finding my rhythm climbing.
Yeah.
And some of it could be my bike. I'm going to take that into full account because I bought a cheap mountain bike. And I know I can't ride a cheap BMX bike.
Yeah.
So why would I think that thing's going to last me? My $400 stock mountain bike.
Yeah.
But I knew better, whatever.
But there is the fact that mountain bikes are stupid expensive.
We're so used to the harder single speed gear, and you just climb along and it's a rhythmic pace and it's
the gear,
chug through it, and there's no like game about it.
Yeah.
And mountain biking, every time I either can't figure out what gear I want to be in or I can't pace myself properly, and you're like,
yes,
and then you want to die
out, and your legs just feel like jello by the time you get to the top.
Or when you stand up to really push through it and you're in a low gear, it's like you're not making any headway So it just, I don't know. I have a really hard time finding my rhythm for a climb.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like climbing. Don't like it.
I think I could be into it, but I need to find a rhythm.
Yeah.
And that, it would just take me a little bit of work. But we've been talking for about an hour. Yeah. And we haven't really touched on anything that we were going to touch on. Although we're almost there.
Like my new tooth.
I think.
My new tooth that almost got knocked out today. That was terrifying.
I mean, I don't think your story is not worth talking about in that regard. Like the history and everything, like we've been doing.
Yeah.
I think it's cool from the small town with a big scene. Like, that is wild.
It was a unique situation, I feel.
Yeah.
Not to spice myself up, but I definitely feel like it was a unique situation with a small town, big scene, and big names close by.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
lots of parties.
Way too many parties. Way too many parties. Yeah, it was definitely a weird time to grow up, but it was cool, and wouldn't trade any of it.
And I mean, pretty much from East Shore days, we covered it in the No Worries Crew podcast. Like every East Shore on was covered in that one.
As much as I can remember.
I didn't listen back through it anyway, so.
Yeah. But,
I mean, I'm pretty sure we spent like 2 or 3 hours on No Worries Crew and East Shore and what you guys had going on right up to that point. So now that the Better Late project is done.
Yay.
And you're focusing on a lot of stuff photo-wise, like.
Yeah.
Talk about photos. What are you doing?
Photos. I shoot photos. So, I'm definitely trying to get more into the industry as far as action sports photography. Not really action sports photography. Every photographer in the world thinks water polo is an action sport. So I'm going to be more specific. Extreme sports photography.
Like scootering.
Like scootering. Actually, Shelby Grimes.
And ripsticking.
Shelby Grimes is a scooter photographer, and she kills it. Absolutely killer. She shoots some BMX and skate too, but mainly she focuses on scooters. So good. Her lighting is really interesting. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing. Tom Beckman photo. You can check me out.
On Instagram.
And website.
Yeah.
And you might link it. Who knows?
No, I can definitely maybe link Tom Beckman photo.
Maybe. Definitely maybe. I like how like my way of saying that we were probably going to do a podcast was, we might do a podcast, who knows, and then you reposted it with the
okay. Well, so part 1 of that, I totally forgot you were planning on coming down with John.
Oh.
So I'd only been talking to John, and then
I didn't tell anyone,
and then
until a couple days ago.
You posted that. I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh.
All right, sure. If we have time, yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
So it works out cool that they had some plans tonight, because the more people that are around, the less like into it you can get.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. I feel like Johnny's is kind of gonna be a little loose.
Might be. It really depends if Mike and Leland, 1, come and crash here, and 2, want to be involved.
Yeah. I would feel.
Which is going to be funny because anyone listening to this one's already going to know. And we don't.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. No this idea. Is being recorded in the future.
You let us know. Yeah. Yeah, life's crazy right now. But basically, right now, my main focus is shooting BMX, and I'm really focusing on the scenes around me and trying to promote those as much as possible. So the Syracuse, New York crew it's fine. I'm trying to shoot a lot with them to get them out because they're good dudes and good at riding. They're fun to be around, and they're always down to shoot a photo. We got a couple dudes in Ithaca now that are riding a lot, so it's slowly we're kind of getting a scene back going. It was a weird time after East Shore where it like slumped really hard, and now like a couple people have moved into town, like Johnny's there, so we've slowly been growing.
Well, it picked up the same way it died more in Binghamton when FBM moved.
Yeah.
Because the Binghamton scene was hurting.
Yeah.
And it had been for a while. And I think part of it could be that people didn't want to move on from the fact that East Coast Terminal closed 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Couldn't appreciate some stuff that they did still have, stuff like that. And had always been spoiled.
Yeah.
I mean, you consider the fact that Binghamton always had jams going on.
Oh, yeah.
And then once the focus shifted from Binghamton to Richmond.
Yeah.
Not that there weren't still events going on, but the scene died.
Yeah.
And then when a handful of years even later, FBM moves back to Ithaca, dead. I mean, that's not. This is not about GrindWorks, but that is why we always felt like we had to keep doing something there. Like,
oh yeah.
But we've also felt the other side of that. Like, everyone's always been so spoiled by awesome jams in Binghamton that it's like, well, this isn't going to compare to blah blah blah, and people don't come, and people don't want to support it, and you're like, look, man.
We're not doing this for
We're
us.
just this is not a jam to say, hey, look how awesome we are.
Yeah.
This is for you guys.
Yeah.
Like, come out and support your scene.
Yeah.
It's not my scene anymore. I mean, I try to do what I can for it.
It's kind of funny.
I haven't lived in that area in 6 years.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my scene.
Yeah.
But in some ways, and I don't want to, I'm not like, I don't even really want to say it, but I almost do more for the scene now than I ever did.
There's not really
and I might
anyone else
be doing the most for that scene still. And that's where, like, I hope no one takes that the wrong way, because out of context that sounds really weird.
Yeah.
But
I mean, as far as I know, there's only like a handful of dudes riding. You know, Logan Devante being like probably the main one.
Yeah.
You know,
and Derek, but Derek can't, because Derek has a metal shop and like a life, and the park is no longer open to the public. So if that changes in the future, then he will clearly be doing more than I am for the scene. But like, and I hope so. And again, I feel real weird about even bringing it up because I don't mean it in that way. I'm just saying that scene died.
It's true.
Died.
There's nothing really going on. No one. Whenever we go down to ride Binghamton, no one's out. Like the older group of dudes, like Cody Brown. He's not.
I don't know where any of those dudes are at.
Dusty moved.
Yep.
Kyle Tarbell. I haven't seen them on a BMX bike in a while.
I think they ride a lot of mountain bikes.
There's a lot of mountain bikes, yeah. Surprised about Kyle. Not so much surprised about Tarbell. But, yeah. They're good. They shred mountain bikes.
Are they here?
I don't know.
Or am I just hearing other doors around?
I have no idea.
Yeah, flip that light quick. No.
Nope.
Alright. I mean, it's 11:30 is why I'm asking. Because they gotta be kind of almost done, maybe.
Probably.
Yeah, who knows? Whatever. But, anyway.
But yeah,
I was going somewhere with that thought, and it kind of... I mean, it just shifts, like, where the scene is popping, I guess. And it shifted the influence to Ithaca. And that's, like, cool, because that's where you're at.
So, the influence of FBM didn't really help the Ithaca scene. It helped the Syracuse scene.
Which is kind of bizarre.
Yeah. So, which was great. I'm cool with it. I like the Syracuse dudes. They're all cool, and they're mainly the people we ride with right now. But as far as the Ithaca scene, when FBM came back, it was still not really much going on, because the people that were riding in Ithaca, like John Lee still lived out in Binghamton. Johnny and Dylan were around, which they were riding, but at that point, it's still just 4 of us that were riding consistently. And then Dylan moved down to PA. So then for about a year or two, it was just me and Johnny riding. And we were riding the ramps at FBM. And now that isn't happening. But yeah, like FBM didn't really do much for BMX in Ithaca, which makes sense because no one was really in Ithaca for the scene to help. There was no scene, period. So can't really do much.
That's fair.
Yeah. But now, like, the Syracuse scene's doing really good. And I attribute that a lot to Kyle Dolan. He's been putting in a lot of work trying to keep those dudes organized and keep them all riding.
Well, I mean, there's a whole thing there too because they had cranks.
Yeah.
They had cranks and then cranks closed, and it's the same just fall off. Massive fall off of people that just stop riding.
After cranks, there was definitely a massive fall off.
So, with people like Kyle, and they just want to hold their scene together. And, to some degree, it's cool when that happens.
Yeah.
Because you end up with just the core dudes left.
Yeah.
The dudes that were hanging out together anyway, but like all the peripheral crap just goes away.
Yeah.
And it's just left with like a cool scene.
Yeah. And it's happened a lot in New York. Like, as far as I can really tell, like, yeah, there's BMX riders anywhere in New York. There can be BMX riders. And maybe it's less apparent to me because I don't see all of it all the time. But to me, as far as BMX in, like, media is concerned, like, seeing it on, like, websites or social, like, Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse. And, of course, New York City, but that doesn't even count.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, it's a town.
We're talking about more upstate. They're Rochester, Buffalo, Syracuse, and Albany because of Mark, obviously. But those three places are like the only ones that right now are getting exposure. And I would like to take a little bit of credit for the Syracuse area getting, so much exposure. So I'm pushing it,
I mean, how can a place get exposure if you don't have someone pushing content?
Yeah.
Same can be said for down here. Like, Murphy does so much for the scene just by being out there with his camera.
Yeah, definitely.
And putting it out there. And then, I mean, it obviously helps having a place like the Wheel Mill.
Yeah.
And they ought to be paying for spots on this podcast for how much I hype them up. But seriously, though,
talk a lot about the Wheel
Mill. It's just one of those things that, like, having a photographer in your area.
Yeah.
And not even really having a photographer. Having a motivated individual that's willing to stand around and either film,
just record,
or take photos.
General.
Doesn't matter if it's with your phone.
And that's the other thing. Kyle, he dropped money on cameras to film, and he's been putting in a lot of work filming.
Yeah.
It's not as immediate as the photos can be, but when he is done with the project, it's gonna be something special. And yeah, I think content is such an important thing for a scene.
And I mean, obviously it's all internet media right now. Like, that's the bread and butter for keeping your scene on the radar.
Yeah.
But there's other things going on, like you're talking about with Kyle's video project. Obviously, we've talked about it a handful of times on here, my video project that, like, I need to be motivated on. And I have a sick editing station right now.
You definitely do.
I'm sitting at it. So, like, I'm pretty motivated to get back into it. But quite honestly, I still have a bunch of stuff that I need to do first before I really dive into doing that.
Definitely.
So, like, it kind of is what it is. But why don't we flip that light on? Let me see how it looks with it on. It kind of sucks, but at least they, like, know to come to this door. I think John knows anyway, but...
But, yeah, so... And in the group message, we have an Instagram group message that's a wild thing to behold. A while back, and I this was a really special thing for me. I don't like to think that I, like, talk myself up or whatever, but a while ago, it was after a focus gallery on our BMX, I had like 3 photos in there. Bobby Lopez, he posted in there, Tom, you're pretty much single-handedly making the New York scene relevant. Like that was a super special thing for me, you know, to like have someone say that, like,
you make a difference.
You make a difference, and what you're doing is working. It was like huge because that's what I'm doing. Like it's where I grew up. Like, I'm not super stoked on New York right now, not necessarily because of BMX, but like whole bunch of other crap, you know. But it's still where I grew up, and I still have a place in my heart for it, and I obviously have a place in my heart for all of my friends, and I want to see them get the exposure that they deserve, and that right now is all that I really care about with my work. So
I think it's awesome.
I try.
Well, speaking of that group message too, I don't think, you know, with skate parks and stuff, sure, I don't think I've seen like the major upstate New York scene that together.
Yeah, and I think,
but it's because it's not like huge scenes. It's like a couple guys here and a couple guys here, and they go, hey, if we hang out together, we can make some stuff happen.
Yeah,
and we can all have some fun.
Our core group in New York is like, not counting like the 4 dudes in Buffalo who are like, I feel like
4 dudes in Buffalo.
The 4 dudes that we actually talked to in Buffalo, you know, those the main group is like 30 people. And like, which is small,
but it's like 100-mile radius.
Yeah,
and maybe not quite that much, but I know. I mean, it's tight. Pretty like, big.
It's Ithaca. Well, I'd say the farthest places are Oswego down to Binghamton,
which is the entire like, vertical stretch of the state in that middle upper.
You kind of cradle in Cayuga Lake.
Yeah.
Around that area. And then there's a couple dudes in Buffalo that we talk to pretty regularly.
And, I mean, the indoor spot is Rochester, so, like...
Yeah.
Rochester all the way over to almost Albany. Like, that's a big collective to not have that many people.
Yeah. It doesn't... And again, I don't know if there isn't other people.
Yeah, but they're not like in the prime group. Someone in the group would know if there were other people, and we don't know about them. So
yeah, I mean, like I said, the only other person that's like, I mean, massively relevant, but the only other person that's relevant outside of like the people that we talk to is Mark in Albany. Like, he's obviously on a next level of relevant, but he's like, there's not really other people, and which is really strange. But I think the you were talking about the level of tight knit, like how tight knit the group is right now. I think that has literally all to do with that group message.
Well, but a lot of it started coming together through the jams too. Like,
yeah, well, the jams were a product of the group message.
See, I don't know about that because I was just recently added to that.
Yeah.
But I know that like us having the jams, I'm sure it's like, hey, come to this thing.
You're talking about your jams. So
yeah,
we've been doing like little just completely random jams.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and we would post in the group message saying, hey, we're doing a Cornell Street ride.
Yeah.
And we'd get 20 people.
Because I know that, like, Button came to, like, I don't think I was at the first one that he came to, because it was, like, the Trick or Street jam that we did in Binghamton. But I'm not sure how he heard about it. But, like, he probably came down with maybe, like, Mitch and those dudes. And, you know, it's just, like, growing, which is awesome. But I know that they're related in some fashion. It's just, you know, probably chicken or the egg scenario to some degree. Yeah, everyone knows each other, and then it's like, hey, what's this thing? We're going to this. Come with us. Yeah. But yeah, that group message is the scene.
Yeah, it's the scene, fully. But the reason I think that it's so tight knit is because the group message, and the group message came about because there were a couple dudes that came into Ithaca that moved into town, and I was like, oh man, like we might actually be able to like grow a little scene here, and we could ride together. And like at the time I wasn't riding that much, and Johnny wasn't riding like as much as he wanted to, so I was like, fuck, you know, if we do something, just some text message group to where everyone that rides BMX in Ithaca is on it, and we just say, hey, going to ride. That's it. And then if someone's free, they can go ride with you. Yeah. Whatever. It's gonna get people out to ride more. And that was my thought behind that, was to just get people out to ride more. Mostly myself. If I wasn't riding, I was not feeling good, you know. Yeah. I was losing my mind, kind of, because I wasn't riding my bike.
Well, and at that point, were you still working at the bike shop, too? Where you're, like, surrounded by bikes, but hate bikes?
After the bike shop. But... yeah, that group message started this spring. And then that group message was pretty good. We regularly had like groups of like 5 dudes. There was only like 6 dudes in the Ithaca group message. So like 5 was really good.
Oh, we're gonna take a quick break and pick back up.
How long have you guys been doing?
We're just back in right now, but we got about an hour and a half in before we took a quick break.
But yeah, we were talking about the group message in Ithaca. So the group message in Ithaca, I started it, and it felt like it got everyone riding more. And then I think that was inspiration kind of for Johnny, who started the Instagram group message. And that was definitely, like I said before, that was definitely what really cemented everyone riding together. And things being so strong. Yeah. It's a small group, but still strong.
You know, we were paused, and I had every opportunity. I should have gone and refilled my water that's empty.
Probably.
Here, I'll go fill it for you.
Nice job.
No, you don't have to. It's
cool. I'll do it. I'm not doing anything.
If you insist.
Yeah.
We have...
I need to get some, too. I forgot some.
We have John sitting in now from the last podcast that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
The future previous podcast?
Yeah, whatever.
Dude, it's like time paradox, man. Things are crazy.
So, anyway. I really hate my camera angle.
Why?
It's just like yours is good. Mine is so profiled that it drives me a little bit insane. I need almost a third camera to sit right there.
Yeah.
Next to that one. This one's sweet when I'm like streaming games or doing something like that. But
yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Just get a third one. Fixed.
Or just get one and put it up in the drop ceiling that sees both of us.
Yeah.
I'd probably just do it with my GoPro.
Oh, definitely. It might, I don't know how you would do it with streaming, but I'm sure you could.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be relevant then. I just change which input I'm looking at. But.
Oh, yeah. GoPro for just doing the podcast. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
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 Just get a 360 camera and then I can just back and forth through the whole every time someone talks.
Dude, Dan Foley got a 360 camera and I think he got the Insta360 and he's been doing like self-filming.
Come around the
computer.
Get away from that.
Good call.
Because Dan Foley is like, he's pretty known for his self-film stuff. And he got the 360 cam, and he was so pumped when he got it, because he can like do panning shots with self-film stuff. And he was like, dude, this is changing the game. I was pretty stoked. I've been thinking about it. Just because you can just set it up and still be able to pan.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Yeah, you just choose the path later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really seen too much about those, but
all I've seen is from Dan.
All right, so I got a question for you, photography wise.
Okay.
Why photo over video? I guess because obviously something led you that way in the first place, but why?
Why? Like in the beginning? Why?
Just why?
Or why in general now?
I think it's kind of all inclusive, right?
Yeah,
it's not
it's the why before the reason it stuck with me, and that's the thing that I was more drawn to is, unlike everyone else, I didn't have a lot of videos. Like, I didn't have this massive VHS collection of like all the props, all that shit. I didn't have that. My parents didn't buy me videos. I had Albert Street at all-time low, and I got to watch.
It's a weird selection for your parents to approve and not give you other options.
They didn't buy those. My friends gave them to me. Yeah. You know, they were things that I got and they didn't really know about. You know, but with photos, like, I got to see all the magazines. Our library at Newark Valley had a subscription to Ride, Dig, and BMX Plus. So I had all three magazines anytime I wanted. And I could look at every issue because they had the subscriptions for a very long time. And it was just so easy to see photos. And I guess the reason why photos stuck with me was because a photo, as far as BMX is concerned, to me is more dynamic. You can do way more creative stuff with lighting on the spot. Like, if you're lighting a video clip, way more difficult. You need way more gear to run the lights, especially like on our budget. Like, we don't have, no one really in the BMX industry has the budget to run battery powered like video highlights. It doesn't happen. So you see more like street lamp lit, or like an LED panel on top of a video camera, like as far as nighttime, and then daytime it's all natural light, which is cool. Like a lot of the videographers in BMX and skate, they're great. They do a great job. But with photos, it's way easier to carry strobes, now more than ever. Carry strobes, make a dynamic, interesting thing. And that's why I choose it now. More, why I prefer it now. It's, to me, a photo is way more interesting than a video clip. And in the long run, a photo can get looked at for a very long time.
It can almost be studied to a point.
Exactly. It can be studied. Video clip, man, that's 3 seconds.
I think to some degree too, well, yes and no. I mean, you got to look at, let's take your Albert Street as an example.
It does depend on the
how
video.
many times have you watched it?
How many times have I watched Albert Street? I've seen them out. But it depends on the video. So,
and I think that's relevant though, because it depends on the photo too.
Less so. Johnny doing a bar spin on a bank in Syracuse, photo looks sick. People will look at that because the lighting is super interesting. Of course, it's John Kors, It's, people know him.
It just works.
Stuff like that, it works. But you take the same thing, make a video clip of it. It's just a bar spin on the bank.
Well, I think that a lot of it depends on what type of stuff you like to shoot too.
Yeah.
So let's just put it out there. Your favorite trick, tabletop. Tabletops inevitably look sicker in photos than they do in a clip 99% of the time.
Okay.
But let's, my riding, for example. Looks terrible on both, but then nothing conveys.
There's a place
via photo.
If you're doing lines that have intricate pieces that all that's spread out, a lot of the grind combos that are happening these days, those need to be done in video.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how it is. But photo is still so relevant. You can shoot a part of that line and then have a caption of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what I would prefer to do. But even still, with a grind combo, you can shoot a sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the lighting technology we have these days, my flashes on full power, blasting all the light they can blast, can keep up with the high-speed sequence on my camera. And I can do that for 20 frames.
Oh, look at that in the new dig. That Simone Ice Smith
exactly.
Manual 180.
I mean, that wasn't lit.
Right, because that was a daytime natural.
That was natural
light shot, but it was also black and
but
white too.
That's you can string long lines together with a photo.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely do that.
It's gotta get creative.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
And those are awesome photos too.
Mm-hmm.
But in the beginning, the reason why photo was more relevant to me was because I looked at mags. I didn't watch videos really. I didn't have any internet, you know. Like I said, I lived in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't even that we couldn't, like, my parents didn't really want internet. It was more that there was no internet.
Well, and even that era of the internet, like that early 2000s,
yeah,
like
I mean, we were playing Oregon Trail.
No, you just couldn't. You couldn't log in and watch a full-length video. You couldn't log in and watch a clip. Like, you had to go to something like MidwestBMX.net or whatever it was, and like you could download an individual clip, but you were on your parents' dial-up connection most likely, and it was like you're downloading a clip and they're going, get off this, I need to use the phone.
Yeah, I mean, for us, there wasn't even dial-up at our house.
So you could look at photos, and that was really about it online.
Yeah, and the magazines were just so much easier. Because, like, even not at the library, we could go to a supermarket, and, like, I'd piss and moan and be like, Mom, I want this mag. I want, it's a new ride, and it was it was like $5. Easy. It's $5 for a magazine, and I could look at that magazine for months. I didn't have to take up space on the TV. My parents wanted to watch TV. That's fine. I'm looking at my magazine. It's there. I don't need anyone else. I don't need anything else. It
doesn't have to be recharged.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be recharged. It's
like
paper. It's in my hands, That's just, it was a great thing. And the fact that the library had the subscriptions.
All right, well,
that was pretty sweet.
The next question is film or digital, and why? And let's take cost out of the equation on that. Like, let's just assume that you had kind of unlimited film.
Here's the thing: film is less expensive than digital. Definitely, Travis Moritz already ran that down. Film is less expensive. You can buy a film camera for, dialed, like Canon 1V. It's the film probably equivalent to my digital body, and do like everything that my digital body, not everything, but a lot that my digital body can do. And that body is like, you can get a dialed one for like $200. My digital body, $5,300. So you compare those costs and how fast digital degrades value. When I go to sell that body, I'm not getting shit. And with that, film is less expensive. But back to the question.
But I get that. I'm also thinking about it from the standpoint of, like, if you're trying to shoot a sequence and it's 100 tries for this person to land that trick.
So that's the thing.
But I guess you're not developing those roles. The ones that aren't landed, you're just not developing that role.
You're just not developing. Yeah, pretty much. But
again, cost out of it either way.
See, if you're not developing those roles, those are wasted. That's wasted money. So that would kind of equate to cost. But cost out of it, for ease of use and for sequences, definitely I do like digital. There is something about shooting film and developing my own film that's very satisfying. And going back to Travis Moritz, he's hardcore film. Everything's film. He stopped shooting digital a long time ago. He does these videos about like photography theory and like stuff like that. Technically, if you're shooting digital, you're not making photographs. Technically. So that's kind of a weird thing, and it's like
shooting an image.
Yeah, you're creating a digital image. You're not creating a photograph. Photograph is exposing a light sensitive substance to light. So photography has to be made with enamel or gelatin, blah blah blah. But back to like, that's being a photographer. You want to make photographs, like, and there's a lot that goes into film that makes film really cool, makes it a very viable thing. It lasts forever. You can have your negatives. They will be your negatives forever. You make a print with film, that print will last forever. You can have, if you archive it properly in non-acid boxes, blah, 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 you can have that print forever. Hard drives crash all the time. Mm-hmm. It's terrible and heartbreaking.
And
yeah.
What's the viable life on an SD card? Like, let's say you lock it down, you store your images on it, you lock the SD card. They're only rated for, it's like a good amount of time. I think it's like 10 years or something like that. But it's like, I know it's all been tested by artificial aging and like test practices, not like real life. We're actually getting 10 years out of this, or we're actually getting 15, or who knows what.
Yeah. It's, for me, I've never I've never had an SD card for the life for like that long. I don't know. I rotate SD cards like every 3 years. They're just so cheap now, and I don't really need. I can get 32 gig extreme cards. That's all I really need.
So did you see the 2 terabyte?
Oh yeah. Lexar, I think, has 2 terabyte.
Micro SD.
Yeah, ridiculous.
It's wild. I've always been like of the mindset to never record over anything, so like video side.
Yeah.
I have every mini DV tape that I've ever recorded on.
Yeah.
I have all my VHS-C tapes that I've ever recorded on. We never recorded over anything.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my deal with myself moving to any digital stuff. Like, I will not re-record over this SD card. I will just get a new SD card and I will archive that one.
I reformat.
But, well, that kills your viable life the more you record over it.
Yeah.
But then again, this day and age, it's recording on a phone, so like you can't not.
So I'm formatting. I'm not like erasing images and then I'm reformatting the card, so it's a little bit different. I can see that it will bring down the life doing that, but like I said, I don't keep anything longer than 3 years.
Yeah, you're not even tapping into like a problem.
Yeah, I'm not trying to shoot something important.
They go out of size.
Yeah,
so quickly. You're like
so quickly irrelevant.
Like, I posted a picture on Instagram a couple weeks ago of my MP3 player from really not that long ago. It was like a 128 megabyte MP3 player.
Yeah. Woo!
I had a mini disc.
Yeah.
I had a mini disc player. That's what I rode with. It was like a hard floppy disk that held basically an album.
That's awesome.
I remember those. That was Sony.
Yeah, it's kind of like my daughter has those magnetic little connector blocks. was like those, but handheld music.
Yeah, I had a video camera that recorded to mini disc.
Oh, nice.
Oh, we did too. My dad bought it, and then
fucking terrible.
Yeah, you couldn't edit it.
You could.
It was just
No
it was a published DVD.
No shit.
So
whatever you did, you did.
Those cameras were awesome for like a parent that was
shit.
recording a baseball game for their son.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Because you could just rip it out, throw it in your DVD player. It was good to go, and you could watch your son's baseball game.
I got it, and like this was before I started hanging out with like the Newark Valley crew. This was me and Seth Church, who lived down the road from me. We had a dirt tabletop at the bottom of this driveway. That was our BMX. That was my very first start of BMX. And kid Matt Guillen, he brought Albert Street over, and me and Seth had been riding for a while, and Matt brought Albert Street, and that was like, done. This is what I'm doing. Screw everything else. Like we experimented a little bit with skateboarding and like rollerblading, and we saw Albert Street, and we were like, nope, BMX.
How do you go about rollerblading in the middle of the woods?
Well, okay. Seth had a sidewalk. It was like this wide, and maybe from like this wall to that wall, so like, I don't know, like 15 feet. Yeah, 15 feet long by like 2 foot wide. And that's what we skated on and tried rollerblading on. Rollerblading was like really nothing. We were like, okay, we'll try it. We saw some dudes huck big rollerblade stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We were like, oh, that might be cool. And then we like never really got into it. But skateboarding we got into a little bit. Seth got really good. But when I saw Albert Street, it was seriously, everything else didn't even matter. I was like, I want to ride bikes. That's it. And yeah. What were we talking about?
Yes, you.
Oh, the tapes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw Albert Street. We started riding a lot, and I bought the little tape, the little mini disc video camera, because it was cheap. And the other option was a Handycam, and it was not cheap. So guess what? I didn't get a Handycam. So we got the mini disc recorder, and I was like, oh my God, Seth, this is going to be so cool. We're going to record stuff. We're going to edit. We're going to make a little video. And then we were like, we can't edit it.
You can't do anything
we can't do anything to it. So we had a disc that was full of like us eating it, like constant.
And like 4 good clips.
Yeah, like 4 good clips. And we were like, yeah, this this sucks. So, and that was my first experience with trying to do video.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think that helped with doing video.
Probably did not.
But with cameras, with photos, I got a Canon AE1, and I was shooting photos, developing like 1 hour photo kind of thing. And then high school came around, did photo class. It was like the world was just open to me. And the teacher, Mr. Holden, favorite teacher, hands down. I love that dude. He like trusted me. No other teachers trusted me. I mean, look at me. If you were a teacher, would you trust me? So Mr. Holden trusted me, and he like let me take flashes home and stuff. And these were like, at the time, they were big ticket flashes.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my dad realized that I was like really stoked on photos, so he bought me a little digital Rebel. It was the Canon Rebel XTI, and the flashes that the photo lab had worked with that camera. So he let me experiment a lot with flashes and stuff. And it was so cool that, like, one, a teacher trusted me, and two, like, it was something I could do that I didn't need anyone else. Like, obviously with the BMX stuff, I started needing someone to ride so I could take a picture. But it was just, I could walk around and just take pictures, and they were there forever, you know, because I was shooting a lot of film. I had shot more film at that time, even though I had the digital Rebel, shot more film than ever before, because one, I was getting free film, and when you're in high school and don't have a job, that's pretty fucking cool. And two, I had a place to develop it, so I didn't have to pay someone to develop my film. Also, pretty fucking cool. So that was like, that really, all the magazine stuff with the access to cameras I had, and then the photo class, that was all like, boom, photos. That's it. I like photos.
There's one other thing with developing film too, that like, you can get a bad development.
Yeah.
And you can end up with something really awesome that you did not intend on.
Yeah.
And you can't do that digital.
No,
you can put those effects in, but you have to have the vision, and it's never an accident.
And that's
a pleasant, wonderful accident.
So
happy accident, right?
There you go. That's a thing. Another thing with photo stuff for me is, the reason why photos resonated with me rather than other art forms like drawing and stuff. I'm not actually creative when it comes to that stuff. Like, I can get creative on my bike. I can do kind of creative things with lights, whatever, or like angles, but it needs to be presented to me like someone saying, hey, I'm gonna whip this. It needs to be presented to me, or a spot needs to be presented to me. I can figure out how to shoot the spot, but making something up, that I cannot do. I cannot draw something from scratch. Like, like
the graphic design side or something is not your strong suit.
Yeah, it needs to be presented, and I can make. It's not just capturing an image, because I do a lot of work to make an image, to shape light and stuff, but it's not making it from nothing. It's capturing what is there. I'm just trying to make it look cool. So that's the big thing with photos, and I like that I can do that.
Okay.
Or at least I think I
can. I mean, you can.
Yay.
Whether it's good or not.
Ooh. Fucking.
Well, I mean, it's all art, though. Like, at the end of the day, it's all art, and like,
it's subjective.
Some people just aren't going to be into it.
Yeah.
Some people are wrong.
Yeah. I like it.
And you recently had a written response to an imprimatur article regarding, it's specifically clips, but it's media, it's photos, anything like that. I know it's not the imprimatur podcast, but do you want to touch into that at all? Do you want to say anything, or do you want to just say go read the article and figure it out?
Well, everyone should go read the article. Mike helped me immensely with that, because I'm terrible at writing. So what me and him did was throughout a couple weeks span, I just wrote down random thoughts, and at the end, I kind of sent it all to him, and he organized it. I tried to, like, not be too flaky. I'm like putting, this here, but it actually goes with this over here. I tried not to be, like, terrible.
Here's a massive puzzle. Figure it out.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah.
here's an insight into my brain. I know it's scary. You figure it out.
Yeah, I haven't been able to.
How clever is your brain?
But he went through it, and he really organized my thoughts, and I feel like he really got the point across that I was trying to make. And what I was trying to make was the point that a rider has something to sell, a company has something to sell, a photographer or a videographer. This was specifically talking about video, but
that was the whose clip is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it also relates to a photo, because this is a super common thing with photos all the time. It's the videographer and photographer, what they have to sell is the clip or the photo. It's their product.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't own it, they don't have a product. And no one's just going to give them money for something that they can't own.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone wants to think of it in a way of like, just be courteous and like give the rider the clip. And
situationally, yes.
Yeah, I mean it's different if it's your buddy with the bro cam.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
that
that's
doesn't
cool.
count.
Whatever. But if you're talking about a career videographer or photographer, no.
Mm-hmm.
They own it. They want to give it to you. That's cool. They made that choice.
Well, or if it's under a contract, obviously, then that whole
like
concept goes out of the
Mike's
way.
situation where he paid the videographer. There was a contract with the videographer, and he was supposed to transfer all clips.
Yeah.
Because money was exchanged.
I paid for those clips.
Yeah. Mike's company paid for the clips.
Yeah, they're no longer
Done.
the videographers because he
Exactly.
sold them.
Yeah, you sold your product.
And with photos, you have to be careful with selling all of your rights. You don't sell all of your rights.
No, you can still reproduce
you
yours.
License
Yeah.
photos.
But see, you also have the responsibility. I've seen people, a couple who were video makers,
Yeah.
sort of lazy ones, filmed some clips that people needed, like crazy fucking clips, and just refused to give them up, but never did anything with them. So they were dead and lost in the water, and they were some of the wildest shit
Yeah.
that I've seen. So the
But
dude blew his responsibility, and he also refused to give those clips up to the guy whose clips he did.
but in a legal sense,
So he's not actually obligated to.
right.
Yeah.
But
which
if
is
you
like-
don't, you're kind of just
you're a dick,
cunt.
and then you're not going to get worked with.
Right, which happened.
And that's
It was
fine.
done, and you're done. But those
Yeah.
clips got completely lost, and they were clips that shouldn't have ever been
Well,
lost.
Yeah,
It-
definitely.
I mean, not from a loss standpoint, but like when you're talking about, let's say, company contracts clips to be filmed, and then I leave that company.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you going to use those clips anyway
I-
in your video?
I
In some instances, maybe.
The company
which is
paid
okay.
for it, then it's their decision.
Yeah, they can just hold it out on you just to be a dick.
Or,
Or
not
look,
just to be a dick.
here's the value that this clip has to us. Here's what we paid for it.
Yeah,
if you
can,
want it,
you can buy it.
Buy it
It's
for
a
yourself.
product. It's a product, and you can't. A lot of like Ryan's Ryan, he's the one that writes for Challenger. I think his name's Ryan. I'm not positive, but he was going at it in a more, why do we need to think of this as like in corporate terms or business terms? why is money the factor? And it's like, because it is.
Because we live in a capitalist society, regardless of whether we like it or not.
Yeah, we're in a capitalist society, and BMX, as much as you want it to be your lifestyle and your special thing, BMX is an industry, and you gotta get over that. Money exchanges.
BMX.
That's how it is.
BMX and I think it stems from skateboarding and the counterculture of it all in general, but
yeah,
BMX has a thing against making money. There is nothing wrong with making money.
Yeah.
Doing something. If you... there is a point where it becomes like greed and gluttony and
right.
like
oh yeah,
but
that's wrong, but
we still live in a society.
There is nothing wrong with existing and making money and
absolutely,
and not struggling for your entire life.
Yeah.
And it's weird that BMX can't accept that.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'd rather struggle than sell out, and it's like, well, you can struggle alone, man. Like,
yeah,
there's no point in not pushing.
See, and the other thing is with BMX and like the culture of not making money, they don't realize, like a lot of people don't realize that
the deep part of the culture.
The problem with not making money is the fact that if you don't make money, you can't push your ideas. And if you think your ideas are cool, you want people to see your ideas. You know? So you want to push it, and you need money to do that.
Well, let's look at it this way too. If no one's making money and we all just exist, like complete socialism, right? If everyone just exists and everyone is like expected to do their part, we live in a world where we all do make money, and we still know that half the morons out there, if not more than half, aren't pulling their weight.
Yeah.
How are you even getting paid and you're not doing anything? Now, let's say we're going to pay you equivalent, or you just get everything you need just because all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to be motivated to go out and work and do anything? That's why that always fails and falls apart.
Yeah. It's you gotta have money to push things, and there needs to be money flowing for motivation. It's just how it is.
And
Rightfully
I don't think
so.
it's bad.
Yeah.
No, like, I mean,
there's nothing wrong with
there's
that.
too much stuff that you can't do barter system for everything.
Yeah.
You need something to transfer. Oh, I want what you got. You
it,
don't want what I got.
It doesn't. I say money needs to exchange. Something needs to exchange, like barter system. Barter system's cool.
Barter system is still capitalism.
Yeah, it's still capitalism, definitely.
But nowadays, there's just too much shit.
But
like,
it's not focused on a money,
right?
Per se.
Well, yeah, but that only works when there's 10 things to do in the whole world, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Tom sells coconuts, I have watermelon, and you have livestock.
Yeah.
And we collectively agree, like, all right, well, your one livestock is worth 10 coconuts or 3 watermelons. And like, okay.
But you know what? I fucking hate watermelon, and you can't have any of my cow. You know?
Yeah.
And that's where you're like, well, I need money because I do want the cow, but you don't want my watermelon.
Or you can barter.
So that's where you
need.
That's where you need to get money.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where money plays its.
Because if you don't like watermelon, what if you like coconut?
Yeah, you got to give me coconuts.
Yeah, I'll trade him coconut, and he can trade you coconut.
Right.
Because maybe he doesn't like coconut. Basically, barter system's pretty cool, but it's not perfect.
I'll trade you 3 bent rims for a brand new fork. How's that sound?
I don't have brand new forks, so you're out of luck. What were we on? Oh, imprimatur.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool. All three good points. Ryan's point's definitely still valid to me. There needs to be, respect. It's not all about money, but the money aspect does need to be a point.
You can't neglect it.
Yeah, and that's why I say, what he said definitely still has weight. It still matters, but I think my point needed to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently Mike did too. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone should really go check that out. A lot of work went into it.
Well, and
really
cool.
Cool.
The initial article in the first place.
Yeah,
to see
Mike's initial article.
all the context surrounding it. Because
you gotta see that. That one's very
good.
important.
If I were a good host, I would link to that. I'm not going to.
Oh. Well.
Because I'm not taking notes to remember, hey, link to that.
I'll remind you.
All right, sure.
He's not even going to link my website, so.
At best, I'll link your Instagram.
So you mean I need to make a T-shirt real quick so tomorrow I can have my Instagram right across my chest so I don't have to worry about it?
Oh, you can wear it for tomorrow.
We're good.
I don't know if you.
I'm just fucking.
Did you bring a work shirt?
You mean in the last episode you're gonna have to wear a?
Yeah, in the
last episode you're gonna have to make a thing before you do it.
It's such a fun concept.
When it's all based around the fact that I didn't
photos are way cooler.
Didn't do a proper intro on this.
TomBeckmanPhoto.com. But links are way cooler. Everyone follows links. They don't follow what you say.
Wait, you mean I gotta look it up, type it, and learn how to spell
They're
it?
They're not gonna make it this far through the podcast anyway. I'm not that interested.
Especially the way we started it was pretty good. Yeah. I went to do just a little test recording and make sure that my level reading was accurate and that everything sounded good, and Tom just started off on a rant, and I'm like, well,
no.
It was.
I guess that's the intro, and I just have to trust the levels now.
Oh, because you bumped it today?
And someone else.
I said a couple of things, and it was like, should probably just leave that in and call it a day.
Leave that right there.
Yeah. When did you lose your tooth? When did you get a new tooth? What's your tooth?
Oh, my front tooth right here. I've broken that 4 times. This
shouldn't be such an asshole talking shit to people.
Yeah, right. This is my 5th.
Stop kissing your bar ends while you ride.
Actually, one was the first time I broke it. A lamp fell on my face when I was a kid. I got a crown. Second time, I was playing with Connects. I was still a kid. Playing with Connects. It wouldn't pop into the freaking socket, and I bit on it, pop it in.
Broke your crown.
Broke my crown. Got a new crown.
I could have told you that.
Next one was a bar end, actually. Then I was rolling something in a rolling paper, and I went to bite off the end, just like this, with that tooth. Broke the crown off.
I didn't know you smoked tobacco.
That was a long time ago. I quit smoking cigarettes.
No, I didn't know you smoked. I did know that you smoked cigarettes.
6 years ago. Maybe longer. I don't remember. Yes.
Back when 18-year-olds could smoke cigarettes.
Back when 18-year-olds could smoke cigarettes. Yep.
Did they get grandfathered in, you know? I would be pissed if I was 19, I got this smoking habit, and they're like, oh, you gotta be 21 now. Like, oh, fuck. No, dude, I'm deep. I'm in already.
Like, there should be a 3-year window where it, doesn't apply.
The grandfather clause? That's a thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that happened.
And that one was the one before this one. And I stopped, like, I didn't go to the dentist for a long time to get it fixed. And just recently I went and I got a nice dialed crown. I paid more for this one than all the other ones, so if it busted out today, I would have been real bummed. Bar end. Hit my face today. Not stoked. Oppo tables.
Fly out Oppo table.
Fly out Oppo table. I'm glad it was I'm kind of glad it was fly out.
Better than a landing.
Although
you might not hit your chipped tooth.
That's the thing. I hit the
deck soon.
The deck so hard that it was like.
Might have been just a tumble.
Yeah.
It's a gift for doing fly out tricks, man. How old are you? Old enough to be. I'm doing fly out tricks.
Yeah, old enough where I'm doing fly out tricks.
For real?
Yeah.
You.
When you landed that Oppo table, were you going to land cranks or pedals?
It was pedals.
Good answer.
Damn.
A bunch of people. Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything you want to shout out? People you want to shout out?
I guess. You should all go check out It's Fine Crew on Instagram. I guess you should also check out J Quartz Metalworks. Thought it was JC.
It was taken. JC's taken. It's
JC
my legal
Metalworks
LLC
taken?
is JC Metalworks, but email and Instagram had to be J Quartz.
Why? How is that taken?
I don't know, but Tom's been telling everyone to follow that other guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's your logo that comes up. It pops up.
Okay.
It just popped. Everyone that I typed it into their phone, it just popped up.
Cool.
I was like, that's why I still kept thinking it was JC because that's what I typed in.
Yeah. You start it out, it pops up. You click on it.
Yeah.
JC.
Yeah.
There it is, right at the top. Second
Well,
one down.
yeah, I typed JC Metal.
Oh, okay.
And it popped up. Every time.
Is that in the, like, maybe where your name would go?
It's in the search section.
I'm going to look right now because I think it's probably says it's J Quartz Metalworks and then where you would put your name in.
Oh, no, that's work.
Oh, is that what it says, work frame?
Yeah, that's how we did it, right?
I don't fucking remember.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's technology, dude.
Yeah. Real American-made bicycle frames.
Well, mine is not pulling up when I type JC Metal.
Really?
Uh-huh. Not at all.
I don't know.
Well, we know who searches me more often.
Exactly.
I think you're in my tops. I don't even need to go to search. But you know what's higher up than that? Well, no, as soon as I go to search, I think you're just like...
I guess you guys can all follow
right up there.
GrindWorks. I'm the only one not on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm checking my own JC from my personal account. When I type in JC, it just pops up. But that's pretty obvious.
Face Tyler always hangs out at the top of my recent searches.
Dude. Face Tyler is prime. I told Mike about it. He's stoked on Face Tyler.
Sweet.
It's so bad.
It's so funny.
It's good. Dude, I can't believe Brad was the one. It still blows my mind.
What?
The meme.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, did you see that one, John?
No.
Alright, I'm gonna pull this up for you real quick. Because you met him and you were talking with him.
So you'll understand.
Alright.
It was his idea. That's...
Hey, I'm looking at you. Just on your shirt.
Here you go.
Yeah, on your shirt.
He made that. Dude, that's
it was his
awesome.
idea.
That's fucking awesome. Oh.
So I was saying, when that came out, it was before my tooth was fixed, and like I totally like, I know how he feels, you know, busted grill, just like me, but when it came out, I was like, it was funny, you know.
Yeah, but it's like it's so messed up that
it's
you would
so
make
messed
that.
up, and it's funny because like we can laugh at it because, you know, Brad's a friend.
Mm-hmm.
And then AV tells me today that it was Brad's idea. And I was like, what the fuck? It was so messed up.
It originally said West Virginia on it.
Oh, God.
He's like, can you change that to my name?
With my
change
fucking
that to
name.
my name? Fuck, man.
That's awesome.
There's been some really good things on FaceTime.
There's been some really, really messed up things.
Oh,
too.
absolutely. But, you know, it's like a relationship. You gotta take the good with the bad. Like the protectors of the spots. That was a good one. That one fucking hilarious.
There's been a couple good ones I've had to make just from our group chat, and I'm like, sent over.
Dude, the raw
submitted.
Yeah, the Roz one. Did you see it?
I'm sure I did.
The Christmas album cover.
Because the photos always pop up in, you know, video photos. So, like,
yeah.
to clear it, you actually got to look at it.
Dude.
Sometimes I just get on that thing. I'm like, oh, fuck off.
I
am not reading this much.
When Tony said it, it was hilarious. And then you made that.
As soon as I saw it, I'm like, all right.
It was like, boom, fireworks. What, Roz, are you making a Christmas album? Christian
album.
Christian rock album.
Yeah.
That one that I made with Bobby that I didn't send to Face Tyler.
Oh, that was probably a good thing that you didn't send.
Oh, I know, because I put the face over his girlfriend's face.
Yeah, well, I think X.
Oh, well, okay, well then I wouldn't even feel bad about it, but it's still funny.
I would still feel bad a little bit for Bobby. I mean, kind of. It is Bobby, so fuck it.
It was just a good one.
It was so funny. So funny. All I do is eat pizza and fuck easy bitches. Truth. So true. So true. Oh, God. Okay.
Alright, so It's Fine Crew.
It's Fine Crew.
Face Tyler.
Face Tyler. Duh.
J Chords.
J Chords Metalworks. I guess you can follow me. I'm Tom Beckman Photo. You can follow my Toyota page because I like Toyotas. That's Toyota_Tom. Oh, and yeah, No Worries Crew. It's at NWC BMX. Yeah. I don't really have any other shout outs. Except, I guess, GrindWorks.
Thanks for letting me do this podcast, guys.
Thanks for letting me sit in on your podcast, bro.
Thanks for taking me through a time warp.
Yeah, that was... I don't remember a lot of things in my life, and that brought back a lot of things in my life. Remember that time I broke my head open at HCS?
Yeah, you did half of the full pipe, and then you came down upside down.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
It was unfortunate.
Yeah.
You were there 2 whole minutes, and you're like, You were just talking about how many times you've had concussions, and you're like, it's been a while, though. I haven't had one recently.
I'm going
to go ride this full pipe.
Oh, my head's bleeding.
You basically said, I want to go get a concussion real quick.
Yeah.
I haven't had one in a long time.
I'm going to go knock myself out.
Let me go to that full pipe.
See ya.
You ever watch someone just dive onto their head? Check this out.
What's up, dude?
We're gonna get this done. Yeah, I don't remember that. I remember it after.
No shit.
I remember after. Dude, did you guys see the Tony Blair doing the backflip to a mattress?
No.
Dude, oh my god, I gotta get him to share that again. He learned backflips onto 2 beat mattresses off of a kicker.
Okay.
Yeah, first time didn't go so hot. He landed straight on his head. He said I couldn't remember the whole week.
What was that Tom White video where he did the backflip off the piece of plywood? Did not go well.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was like a fucking separated shoulder or something.
Yeah,
I remember that one. It's an animal video.
I don't remember.
Jersey riding video.
Most of my life, it's hard to remember other people.
Other people. Yeah, that's right. You said you don't really remember videos much.
Not at all.
What's your concussion count at, Tom?
Pretty sure it's still at 22. It's a good one.
I don't know.
That's not concussions, right? That's KOs.
That's KOs. Those are times that I know I have lost time. Like, positive.
I've had one where I'm like, oh, I don't know how long that was.
Well, that's good.
I don't know if I was on the ground for 20 minutes or for fucking 13 seconds,
Those are rookie numbers, John.
Yeah.
Those numbers.
Oh, my head hurts.
I just remember afterwards, we went to the ER. Greg and Dylan took me. Greg Bloss and Dylan Cole.
I was just told not to go to sleep.
And I just
every time.
Well, I cut my chin open, so I had a big gash. I needed stitches. And I had just shown Dylan the movie The Omen with Beckman.
Yeah.
And we're sitting in the waiting room, and I nudged Dylan and I point to this kid. I mean, if he was a fucking twin, I wouldn't be surprised. It was a spitting image of Damien, and Dylan's like, "What the fuck, man?"
Fuck. Johnny's over here dying, and we got
Damien staring at us, all creepy like.
So
looking around for Dobermans, like, oh man.
Yeah.
Or were they Rottweiler?
Yeah, like concussions. I guess like I could have more, but like I never went to the doctors. I was in a loose community. When you get knocked out, just
shake it off.
Don't go to sleep.
Yeah.
Don't go to sleep for a couple hours. That's what you did.
Yeah.
It wasn't, we should probably get you to the doctors because you just lost time.
Well, and like, it's actually amazing from the standpoint of you could bump your head one time, and whether you go to sleep right away or not, you can blood clot and have a stroke.
Yeah.
And
it sucks.
If it's like a mild one, you'd end up lucky. A bad one, you'd probably just end up dead. But
in the middle is where you gotta worry.
But, well, yeah. But that many times, no attention, and you're just like, I'm good.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm a little spotty in spots, but
I'm not good. Like, definitely not good.
Well, at this point in the podcast, everyone knows that.
Yeah. And if they don't, they missed it.
They weren't
paying attention. They're a little bit less good.
Yeah, they're less good.
They're on a lower.
Yeah. Like, yeah. It's rough, Like, there's a lot of stuff that I really wish I could remember. And Like, I definitely wear my helmet more now.
More.
When I first started putting my helmet back on, Dylan and I went to BU. First time I've knocked myself, didn't knock myself out, got concussed while street riding. First time I also wore a helmet, just the whole time while street riding. I'm like, God damn it, really?
Yeah.
I think it's cool to see how many people are wearing helmets riding now.
Oh, yeah, it's great. Because I don't, we grew up in a time, you were lucky enough to where you had parents that, really cared. And I feel like they kind of pushed you to wear a helmet.
I mean, at the very beginning, it was provided to me, but I always just wore it.
Yeah.
It was not something where they're like, you have to wear this, even though I'm sure it would have been.
Yeah.
But it was just why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was always my mentality, and I feel that same way about things like seatbelts too. I don't put it on if I'm gonna drive recklessly. I just wear it.
Yeah. See, I grew up in a situation where no one wore helmets. Everyone was riding some of the biggest trails that most people have ever seen. No helmets. My dad was a Marine, refused to wear seatbelts because it's his choice if he wants to die.
I don't inherently disagree with that.
No.
Yeah, I don't either, but
Don't force me.
He was so firm on it because my dad really stubborn to a point where his stubbornness probably gonna kill him.
I would say that from a seatbelt standpoint, if you want to have that discussion quick, and helmets on motorcycles too, I feel the same way on this. It shouldn't be a law.
Nope.
It should be, if they want to require it, your insurance company should require it.
Yeah.
And if you're in an accident and they say, hey, look, they weren't wearing their seatbelt, the insurance company can deny your claim or raise your rates through the roof. Be like, here, this is a contract that you signed with us that you will wear this.
Yeah.
I went to a school with a kid who was in 3 good accidents while he was in high school. 2 of them, he got ejected out of the car because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. And both times that happened, the paramedics showed up and they're like, oh my God, if you were in that fucking car when it hit the next flip, you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
The ejection saved him both times. 2 or 3.
Was this the dude that was a bad driver?
No.
Okay.
The dude who was a bad driver was a Chango local, a bike rider.
Okay.
And he was 4 accidents within 2 months. One of them was hitting a motorcycle rider. God damn it. Get a slow big boat, please. Don't have a little speedy race car.
There's the things that can hurt other people. That's where I get.
That's where your stupid rules can apply.
Yeah. But if you are just hurting yourself,
not your prerogative, man. Fuck off.
Then
that's
you're just hurting yourself.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
My responsibility is me. Your responsibility is you. Don't push you on me.
That's rape.
Exactly.
Don't push you on me.
Well, and that changes through time too, because your responsibility is also Fiona.
Right.
Yeah.
And Carrie.
Right.
And
which I wear my helmet now. I do put a seatbelt on more frequently.
I have a responsibility to my puppies.
Yeah.
Same thing. Don't let anybody tell you differently.
They love me.
Yeah, and it's just part of it's force of habit. If you're not used to doing it all the time. For me, it would be weird to not put my helmet on to go ride, or like to get in the car. I end up putting my seatbelt on if I'm just backing it up, and it's just because when I get in the car I put my seatbelt on, and it's like the force of habit.
Yeah. Yeah, with helmets, like I said, I was in a community that didn't necessarily. I mean, kind of looking down on helmets.
You get made fun of if you show up wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
Back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you showed up to the Acres with a helmet, I don't think anyone would have given you shit. Well, no,
because they weren't actually shitty. It wasn't a shitty place.
Yeah.
It was just, I don't know.
But, if you showed up to ride street with a helmet, no question about it, someone was talking shit to you.
You were a goon.
Yeah. Like, sweet helmet, bro. Sweet helmet. And so, all of that, like, combined, it made it so I didn't really wear a helmet much. Mm-hmm. Now look at me.
I'm definitely a situational helmet wearer.
Yeah.
If I'm going even mildly out of my comfort zone, I'll put it back. I'll put it on. But otherwise, if I'm just cruising around.
See, the only time I go out of my comfort zone these days is when I go away, like coming here to ride the wheel mill. I learned oppo tables. I ate shit on one. And I had a helmet on.
I like going out of comfort zone frequently. It makes my balls tingle and it's awesome.
I mean, I'm glad you guys came down. I haven't ridden that box room in months because I just haven't been riding enough to feel good on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then we were riding the spine, and I'm like feeling loose on that. I'm like, all right, I'll go case box jumps with you guys. It's cool.
You were jumping the spine real smooth.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen you ride. Well, it's not like there's a lot of spines around to ride.
Well, yeah, but to be fair, like, I don't think most people have seen me ride a skate park properly because it's not my preferred method.
Yeah.
Not really what happens.
And growing up, I mean, when I did ride with you, it was normally at HCS's, which is more of like a DIY plaza as opposed to a proper skate park. I mean, he had the indoor part, but it wasn't massive and it wasn't box jumps and spine minis.
Yeah.
It was still almost, transition plaza style.
But I do have to say, living in Pittsburgh has about tripled my riding speed, and it's still slow. But I have so many bowls that I can go ride at any given point in time.
Maybe like I could notch it back too, and still not change the name of my company to Slowworks.
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 Did you? I mean, you guys saw how bad that one clip
it was pretty bad.
I was in the background of.
That was notched back like 5 clicks.
I don't know that one.
No, that was.
It was a rodeo grind?
It wasn't. It was just like a crank arm on the ledge.
Oh.
But they had. So some context for that. They just replaced the coping on it.
It was sticky?
No. It was glass. So the try before that, I hopped on with the speed that I normally do a rodeo grind with, and just got sent. The bike rocketed out from under me. So that one was just seeing, okay, how slippery is this? I was just feeling it out.
Yeah.
So it
that happened to be the one.
It happened to be the one the other kid filmed his clip in, and I'm just like scooting along this ledge.
Like,
in the foreground of his clip in a fluorescent yellow shirt.
Were you grinding slowly, or were you actually?
No. There's a couple scoots. I grinded slow, but there was a couple scoots in there.
All right, speed up a little bit. I mean, that's awesome.
It was that slow.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And the one right after it was awesome.
Yeah.
I did a real good one right after that.
Just happened to not be the right one.
Oh, wonderful.
I didn't see that clip until it got sent to the group, and I'm just like, oh man, what a rough one.
Who pointed it out? Was it Tony?
Yeah.
Tony, man, I feel like Tony's got a lot of time on his hands. He's always like, not really. He posts some prime stuff to the group.
When he's on it.
It's good stuff. Yeah. When he's on it, he's on it.
Yeah.
I guess he's not on it that much. But it's good stuff. Man, the Ross picture, though, that was so good.
All right. I mean, you've already done your shout-outs like 2 times through now. You want to do them once more, or you want to just rap?
What are we rapping? Presents?
Presents.
Sweet.
Among other things.
Definitely wear helmets. If you didn't get that from the rant.
Just listening. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. From listening to me. If you didn't catch that.
Alright, yeah, we'll call this. I'm not doing a proper outro either. I didn't do a proper intro. I'm not doing a proper outro.
Proper is not really how we do it.
We're just gonna build it right in. Thanks for checking out the episode. Another GrindWorks podcast. Recording yesterday is tomorrow.
Yeah, recording
whatever that means.
Tomorrow. It's so good.
Follow everything Tom said like 4 times. But
rewind.
Also at GrindWorks_BMX on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. Send me whatever you want. I don't want it. Send it anyway.
You can send me stuff.
Or GrindWorks BMX without the underscore on Facebook, Mixer, YouTube.
Totally check out Mixer.
TikTok.
Did you just say Dick Talk?
TikTok.
Oh.
Yeah, dicktalk.com.
TikTok. I was like, is that a thing?
That's what this podcast should be called.
Dick Talk. Dude, I used to be known for making dick jokes. I don't do it anymore. I've gotten rusty.
You're also known for planking the top of the Baker's Acres wall ride.
Yep. I'm also known for
naked.
riding naked. I've ridden the Acres naked. I've ridden
East Shore
I
plenty of
definitely
times.
did East Shore plenty of times naked. And HCS one time almost naked. Yeah. I'm the naked photo dude.
Almost naked doesn't count as naked.
Yeah,
that comes off the list.
Almost only counts in
horseshoes and hand grenades. Oh.
Alright, thanks for checking it out. Later.
Bye.